Greetings, fellow survivors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Enshrouded, Episode 2, Saving the Soul of a Blacksmith. And before I leave for any other reason, I would also like to get a bed, a hearth, and some basic stuff. So, make some furnishings is my goal. So first things first, we want... Well, torn cloth is going to be a little bit hard for me to obtain at the moment. So maybe what I'll do is I'll work on storage, so I don't have to lug around all the junk I have. But a hearth, or a fireplace, we can do for sure. The flame altar is like an altar. It's like a spiritual altar. It is not your, like, where you cook. Alright. One fireplace coming right up, and that should help with the comfort. So if you hit R, you can see the bonus here. It adds comfort and frost resistance. And... I'll put it right next to the bench. And that helps to illuminate the whole area so that you guys can see what the hell I'm doing. Also, as you can see, my rested bonus is now up to 11 minutes because of that bonus. We can also do a crude table, or this side table for more comfort. And then maybe a stool with it. And now my rested bonus is even higher. 13 minutes. I could make a candle and put it on the table. Yeah, let's do it. Because I did already see bees hives for the wax. And then string is just plant fibers spun into string. Oh, I just heard something moving around here. Hello? Oh, you sound like a monster. So collecting a bunch of plant fibers. And then after I'm done with this task of, like, building a basic candle, what do you want me to do next? Up to you. I see some enemies. I think they're supposed to be... Oh, you know what? I might be mistaken about exactly where I am. They're supposed to be like a beehive with a tutorial pinned to it. Right outside the sphere of influence of the starting town. And I have misplaced exactly where that is. But it's fine. If we wander around the woods, we can find honeycomb. Easy enough. The larger point here is, like, building a starter house. Oh, hey, Wolfie. And some furnishings is not a hard task to manage. It happens pretty quickly and without much effort. Oh, look at all you guys going, hey, he shouldn't be naked anymore. Oh, okay. Oh, look at you. This little monster ended up killing the wolf, I think. Saves me the effort. Was a hut to the left? Yeah, it should be right here. Oh, yeah, there it's... I'm staring at it. Thank you for the wax. Alright, let's go make a candle. Actually, before I really leave, I ought to also, like, make some storage so I can put things away. That candle's kind of floating. Give it back. No. Back. Back. There we go. Okay, good enough. 15 minutes of rested bonus works for me. So, as I said, before I go, I would very much like some basic storage so that I don't have to lug around all of my everything. And that also protects me from, like, losing it in the case of death. So... for now, we'll have 3 boxes. And these boxes suck, so I don't plan to keep making small boxes, because they're not great. But, and I'm also, not doing any organization for these, because they are the base model boxes that, again, suck. Also, there's a lot of stuff that I could just honestly throw out, because they're not helpful to me at the moment. Like, all of the extra torches, not a big deal. Alright, you guys want me to improve my equipment, so let's go do that. Can monsters break into your shelter? They could, but they're not, like, scripted to. So, like, a random wolf might, like, wander into town, but they're not designed to, like, mess with me in that way. So in terms of the stuff that I can craft on the workbench, as you can see, is pretty limited. And the manual crafting here is pretty limited as well. So if you're wondering about improving gear, most of it is done, and this is a little spoiler, but not a big one because we're going to get there almost immediately. Most of the bonuses you get from gear is from other villagers that you've rescued that they become your craftsmen. So we, in order to increase my gear, are going to find the sleeping survivor out this way. And in order to do that well, what I want to do is to make sure that my needs are met. I also think it would be a good idea to, because I only have 1 piece of meat left, to cook up this wolf meat so that I'm not almost out of food. And the purple berries give me a very brief amount of health regen. Oh, hey, goat. Sometimes the hives will be guarded by swarms of things, so just be careful about that. Wouldn't be a bad idea for me to demonstrate wands and staves pretty early on. I don't really personally intend to use wands and staves much. I like the melee combat in the game more than the ranged, but I'd like to demonstrate it all the same. So here is a wand. The difference between wands and staves. So wands do not require spells attached, but they also don't do a lot of damage. Staves require you to cast spells, and they dip into your mana pool a lot more, but they hit a lot harder. So therein lies the differences of the two. Fihi, thank you for the resub, and Tannering too, and Zaneko, and so many more. Sorry that I missed it. The intro to these games sometimes engross my attention span. Captain's Journal, Day 6. So this is also from Captain Arkwright again. The raiders have besieged us these past 2 days, attacking from the bridge. Their eyes, such madness. We have withheld so far, but only just. We may not survive the next assault. I've ordered to rig the pass with our last munitions. If those scavengers return, we are prepared. And I just picked up another bandage and some arrows. So I can also demonstrate ranged combat too. So for this next quest, we have to travel into the Shroud. flint arrows, and health potions. So health potions are instant. There's different tiers of health potions, but the one I have is 200 healing. And if you're wondering how much health I have, it's like not even that, I don't think. I have 150 health, so yeah. Plenty. Captain's Journal, Day 20. We are hungry, we had to destroy the bridge, and with it our connection to supplies, but it worked, we haven't seen any more scavengers. The Cinder Vault and those within it are safe, and should remain so. Hey, that's me! I was in the Cinder Vault. If we are to avoid starvation, we may need to take our chances in the horrible Shroud. Either choice is certain death. Oh man, sorry dude. So, I am enshrouded. Stay on the path, lest the shrouds can take you. Salvation lies straight ahead. So there's, if you're wondering, there's a lot of resources that are unique to the Shroud. You have to come into the Shroud. It's pretty unavoidable. A lot of the quests will have you go into the Shroud as well. But the Shroud is not inherently a safe place to be, because there's guys like this one, who want to clobber you to death and hobo murder you, essentially. So as you can see, wands are a little underwhelming. Especially when you have low intelligence. Oh, and I just got a new ring. Sweet. Alright, these things, which you can hear, will refill your enshrouded timer. So if you're almost out of time, you can hit those to fill your timer back up. And the resources that the monsters in the Shroud drop are pretty important. I'll just take that because it's telling me, take it. And I'm like, I don't really care, but sure. There's a lot of resources that we can exploit from this area, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm just doing the tutorial. So like, you can pick these for Shroud Liquid, and you can cut down trees for Shroud Wood, and so on and so forth. But for now, just following the path to the other survivor is going to be enough. In this case, this guy tried to block me and ended up stunned. There's a stun meter, which is in gray. There's also a bonus to backstab damage, so if you do end up stunning them and you don't have some sort of like finisher move, you can walk around them from behind and hit them for bonus damage. Depending on the types of weapons you have and the skills you have, you fill up their stun meter faster or slower. It's dependent on your attack types. And there we go. We passed through the first Shroud without succumbing to it. We are now in Rookmore. I just unlocked some recipes. A whole lot. So we have a tiny backpack that we can make. We've got bandages we can make out of the torn cloth. We've got some basic torn cloth clothing that we can make, which honestly is barely worth it. I mean, the resistance it offers is like pretty terrible. Can you even call this thing a shirt? Is exactly how I feel. And this is a scavenger camp. And you will find these scavenger camps all over the place. So this is Rookmore. And I am crouching in a bush, which gives me stealth. If you're wondering, that's why he can't see me. There is like stealth backstabs. In the skill tree, it's actually pretty early on, a sneak attack. I don't feel the need to do stuff like that. I like to wallop them in their face till they die. And he just dropped a weapon. Provisional scythe. Ouch! And here would be a good chance to use a potion, because that hurt. These guys are higher level than me, and actually are, you know, decent opponents for my level, but not a big deal. Oh, let's drink and eat, but definitely make sure to keep the raw meat off our hotbar, because eating raw meat, not so good. So the provisional scythe is higher level than the one I had, so I'm just going to delete my club. I don't even need it anymore. The shield that they dropped has a parry power of 7, a block of 2, which is worse than my shield, so I'm going to delete that as well. Most weapons can be broken down except for self-made weapons for runes, but, like, gear cannot. Hello. And that was a perfect parry right there, where he became stunned when I parried him. And I did it again. Easy to do on a one-on-one, much harder to do in a large group. Elixir, a flood of woe. It's a formula I do not quite grasp. Sophisticated beyond imagination, I'm not surprised to know that the source of this recipe is otherworldly. Created from the flesh of the tiny, delicate fungi growing deep beneath the earth, it grants power. Yet, when I look at the flask, it worries my heart. This will never be a cure, it will always be a weapon. And it's maybe talking about this thing. This mysterious flask. Let's drink it! If you're wondering, status effects, I do extra damage for half an hour, but the Shroud hurts me sooner. I lose Shroud time. So it's a double-edged sword. Ouch! I stepped on a bear trap. Hey, you! Alright, additional information. Red barrels go boom. Boom hurt a lot. Don't get boomed. There's lots of things that will explode on you, and they will rip you the hell up. So just be careful about positioning when you hit things like that. Also, regular, like, sword swings will hit it. Everything will hit it. And we'll poke around, what was this place called again? Rookmore? We'll poke around Rookmore a little bit before moving towards the Shroud Survivor. Now, just about everything you see on the ground can be looted and destroyed to some degree down there. Like, you can break everything for resources. Some of it, like, only breaks, like this, only breaks down to, like, water and wood logs. Not a massive benefit. But if you're poor, especially early game, it might be worth just, like, busting everything to figure it out. Can you build underground? Yes. And I'm sure there's more left in this camp that I haven't unearthed. Oh, that was a bomb. Trying to trap me. What bastards. And I don't have a lockpick, but I can make one. So with some of the metal scrap I've picked up off of enemies, mostly. There we go, a hunter's bow. Well, I was about to demonstrate the use of a bow, so that's perfect. Let's bring the bow up into the 5 slot. I'm also going to right-click equip the bow, so it is my default ranged weapon. You can also see this salvage button. That salvages it for runes, which is like magic crafting material. And then likewise, let's equip the scrap arrows, which are more damage than the wooden arrows. In fact, I'm going to delete the wooden arrows because I so much don't like them. So now we have a bow. Holding right mouse button pulls back the arrow, and the lock targets will work on this. Want another bandage. So this is one of the only times I would ever target lock, especially if you're trying to fight flying enemies. Target locking with a bow or with some sort of ranged weapon to make it easier to hit things that are flying overhead. There we go. So now I have 5 bandages. I should be fine. So as you can see, while target locked, I don't really miss. The bow, I mean, this is like a high-level bow that I found in a chest. So needless to say, if I had a reasonable melee weapon, it'd be a lot faster at killing things than the bow. A cold reception. We've arrived at Rookmore, finally out of the Shrouded lands. It was a difficult journey from the mountains. I hoped for a field possible here, but there's almost nothing. We'll set up a camp in Woodguard. So there's a place called Woodguard somewhere. Scavenger was trying to stop me from giving treats to Yoda. How rude. Penalty for that? Death. Sometimes blowing things up is a good way to just like resource farm because it will destroy everything in the vicinity and you can then loot it. Alright, in order to find... So if I go to the journal here, go to the quests, I can see that the survivor that I'm trying to find is somewhere, possibly in the Shroud. So let's heal all the way up. Make sure to be well fed. And head on in. It will inform you if they're above you or not. So, as you can see, they're somewhere above us. I do find that, like, pathfinding to quest locations can be pretty challenging, especially, like, height-wise. It can be really hard to figure out how to climb certain mountains and the like. And in this case, walking along this mountain ridge, it seems to reason that trying to get up this thing would be really difficult. Now, it is, if you're wondering, possible to, like, mine your way through it. But in my case, with my level of mining and mining pick and stamina and all of those factors, it would take me a ridiculous amount of time. Like, half an hour or something. It would be not worth it, in other words. And I will try to do my best in this run not to waste my time in such, like, foolishly inefficient endeavors. So alternatively, let's go ahead and find an alternative path. The other thing I would like to do is let's queue up a staff for me to make. Not that I have spells yet. Could I use buildables to help traverse the Shroud? No. You cannot build in the Shroud. So you can only build within the sphere of your flame altar, and flame altars can't be placed in the Shroud. So I could hypothetically put another flame altar down, but in this case, obviously, this mountain path will bring me up there. But yeah, when you're in the Shroud, you can't use your flame altar buildings like that. But outside of the Shroud, sure. It might be a little bit, again, more effort than it's worth to build some sort of, like, giant scaffolding tower to get to point A, from point A to point B, but, like, you know, if you're the one playing, it's your time you're wasting. So don't let me tell you how to play. Is it really an open world? I don't know what you mean. I mean, there's a world and it's open. I'm not trying to sass you, I'm just not really sure exactly what kind of question that is. So, I found the ancient vault of the blacksmith. And up here, you can see that this is a flame altar, or something called a flame shrine. The game might not give a tutorial about the flame shrine, but I will if it doesn't. The TLDR is it gives you something called sparks. So there are flame altars and flame shrines all around the world that you can loot with sparks, for sparks. And sparks allows you to increase the flame level of your own shrines. So anytime you happen upon a flame shrine, it is worth collecting its spark. I also found salt on the ground, which was here as an offering. Old books, which honestly I don't want old books. They're just clutter items. In this mountain, this is flint, or flintstone. Yabba dabba doo. And this is useful material for a whole bunch of buildings, so I'll collect a little bit of it. D. Sagan, thank you for the resub. I'm also about to lose my rested bonus, and I also lost my water bonus. There we go, that should help. And then the flame altar was over here somewhere? It was like, you found a flame altar. I'll set it as a waypoint. That should help. So it is below me. It's also worth noting that giant tower is indeed a point of interest of interest. So the arrows for whether it's below or above will go away when you're at the right level. So I went down that path until it leveled out and realized it was here. Another failure. The cinder vessel broke down during testing. The rat I used inside was charred by the coalescent flame, a bright flash, then nothing. Thankfully, the side effects of blindness was only temporary. I've acquired a new test subject, another rat, Igni. Hopefully our path says salvation. I cannot accept more setbacks. Balthazar. These things will automatically repair all your equipment, much like your workbench. Very, very, very handy, especially if you're about to go into the boss fight or something like that, and you're like, oh man, my weapon's about to break, and then you can just instant repair. So the parry power corresponds to how much your shield can parry their attacks. So the stronger the shield, the less stamina it requires to parry an attack. So you can use a level 1 shield like forever if you want. I just would not advise it because like high level enemies will absolutely bust your stamina badly if you don't have a shield roughly the level of their attacks. The rested bonus is strong for being a buff? Yes. The other thing that's worth noting is you can often get rested bonuses, as you can see I'm getting mine right here, by just being warm and sheltered, having a partial bonus. So keeping a torch on you or something that provides heat or warmth is really handy to have out in the wild because I can just... There's a lot of like random structures around that generally are sheltered and comfortable but not warm. So pairing it with your torch can refill at least some of your rested bonus. Which is what I just did up to 5 minutes. Eureka! By the ancients, I've done it. Equilibrium. The subject sleeps, yet can be awakened. They are dead, yet alive. The subject does not decay. It's untouched by the course flow of time. The flame's soul is in a mortal body. Igni serves as proof. We can survive, we can endure. And that message directly adjacent to an explosive ball. Which, yeah, let's use. Boom. So this is the ancient vault of the blacksmith. Well, excuse you. Ouch. Yep, I should not be messing around. I should just killed you. That's okay. Being a little hurt is normal. Eat some berries and it goes away. Ooh, you had an even better weapon. So you had a 11 damage weapon. Up from my... Oh no, it's worse, but it could be better. So in this case, I can right click and hit salvage. And that will yield me runes, which is like a weapon upgrade material, which we'll get into in a little bit. Venture forth. It's done. The center vessel is a delicate contraption, still volatile, yet brimming with potential and hope. The first human to enter will be our true prototype, the kindling of a new spark. Thankfully, the blacksmith volunteered. He entered the vessel and sleep until aroused anew, lest he slips into eternity. And I have just discovered the soul of Oswald Anders. Alright, I'm going to take the fast way home, which is fast travel. Because why go slow when you can go fast? The survivor will be a worthy addition to our cause. Place them in the world with a summoning staff, which you can craft from simple twigs. So the way this works is you craft a summoning staff with literally just one twig. If I had the skill to craft this badass weapon with a twig, I would do it in a heartbeat. And then you can hit tab, select the person that you want to summon, and drop them into the world. Additionally, you can change their roaming range. So if you want them to stand completely still, you can hit F to tell them to stand still, which is nice if you want to like set up a blacksmithing shop for them so that he doesn't like wander 50 meters away from his own shop. Which for now, I'm going to have him stand by the altar because I don't have a house or shop for him. And then let's give him a talk. At long last I return. I'm a humble blacksmith at your service. Let's prepare for what's to come.
To flame and glory.
So, it's saying that he is unhoused, unsheltered without a bed, and there are bonuses for giving him a bed and a shelter. If we open up his crafting menu, he can make little lockpicks, he can make a forge, he can make a kiln, he can make nails, he can make a scrappy axe for cutting down trees, he can make a scrappy pick for cutting, for mining. Better weapons, armor sets, decorative stuff, miscellaneous stuff for design, and some of these things, like the forge, for instance, is crafted at the kiln, so there is an order of operations a little bit. With that said, you can just like find materials as well. On top of that, all of your craftspeople that you'll find have the ability to enhance weapons. So, you could have read that, but I'll just sum it up. All weapons have an upgrade path. So, for instance, this hunter's bow will get increased backstab damage if I invested 65 runes into it. And it also increases his base power. And then the next one is crit chance and power, and the last one is backstab damage and power. So basically, this is a backstab bow. A critting backstab bow, and all weapons will have their own upgrade path, and then some weapons can be upgraded like especially a lot, and we'll get into that later on. So all items in your backpack and action bar are listed here. So these are all the ones I have on me. It upgrades new perks, and it costs runes, and you gather runes by salvaging weapons or by killing things. Took you long enough to find me? Look at you, weak and puny, and they call you flameborn? First thing you need is equipment. So, you can see why I grabbed him when you guys voted for me to get better equipment. Luckily, you woke me up first. Crafting a scrappy sword, a spiked club, or some armor will serve us well. So that's a new quest. And then also cleansing fire. Embervale can still be saved. Where there's ash, there's embers, kid. The shroud suffocates the valleys, so seek the elixir well with your new gear and raise the root of our misery. Ignite the depths and set this evil ablaze. Go on, I'm counting on you, Flameborn. And then there's well rested. Even with the new gear, you shouldn't feel safe out there. Rest up and eat well before you head out. A fire, a roof over your head, and some meat in your belly will prepare you for anything. So, I wish I had a comfortable bed to sleep in. Would you be so kind as to build me one? You can use the summoning staff to tell me which bed to sleep in. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to build Anders a home. I'm going to build him a simple home, and what I intend to do is, if you guys want me to make it bigger and better later on, I'm happy to invest more in the function and aesthetics of the things I build. That will be largely left up to you through polling. So in order to build him a simple home, let's go ahead and first grab the rough wood blocks that we've made and the rough stone blocks that we've made. If we hold shift and hit R, it will insert everything of similar type into the chest. So like if, I'll demonstrate this again. If I take out 3 of the bone and hit shift R, it sticks the bone into this chest because there's already bone in this chest. So it's sort of like an auto deposit with some, filtering. And for now, I'm just going to dump everything in here. And I'm also going to recycle my bow because I don't really intend to use bows. Just personal choice. There are, if you're wondering, chests, and again, spoiler, but there's chests later on that you can unlock, which will give you access to the materials within the chest that you can use without actually having to take the items out of the chest. So that's a big old bonus later on, and it won't auto deposit things in your toolbar. Correct. So, for instance, in this case, I had honey in my toolbar, and it didn't put the honey in, despite the fact there was already honey in there, because it rejects anything within your toolbar. That way, you're not constantly depositing things in your toolbar, which is excellent, I might add, because the games that don't do that frustrate me to no end. I'm also just going to delete these torches because I have no use for multiple torches at the moment. And I'm also going to delete these arrows because, again, I'm not really intending to use bows. So in order to build my home, I am going to need some more stone. And I'll maybe some plant fiber. It depends on how much plant fiber I have available to me. I was going to collect boulders, but I might just, like, mine at the mountain. One of the reasons why you don't see me doing a lot of, like, mining in the mountain is directly around my home, I don't want to terraform it. I don't basically want to ruin the terrain all that much, because it's much harder to put it back. So I don't mind, like, ripping up the ground elsewhere, but I don't want to do it in my own backyard, because doing it in my own backyard is a bit destructive, and I don't want, like, potholes everywhere around where I live. As just a personal preference. Oh, it's not even the type you mind. That ought to be enough. Oops, I accidentally got some of the dirt, but that will be useful. That ought to be enough basic materials. I hear you. Some monsters. One of the other things we ended up getting was a lot of torn cloth, and that extra torn cloth will allow me to build a bed. Oh, let's commune with the flame too. You have awakened your kin. The flame is pleased. Seek out more survivors slumbering in the springlands. So the altar will give you quest lines. Will basically tell you roughly what you should be working on in terms of, like, the grand quest line of the entire game. Whereas the craftspeople in your village that you rescue will give you quest lines related to their own crafts. So if the blacksmith gives me quests, generally speaking, they will help the blacksmith become better at his own job. Generally speaking. And there's a bunch of other craftspeople that you'll end up waking up to. Alright, let's go ahead and make a bunch more rough stone blocks so that we can spread these houses out a bit. And my house is probably going to grow a bit, so I don't want to crowd it. And I think I like the concept of, like, an inner courtyard here. I also might need a rake soon. Oh, I still need more stone. Because we are going to probably run out of flat area to build upon. So I'll do a little bit more mining, but I intend to build his home close. Eventually, what ends up happening is you'll find yourself interacting with your craftspeople frequently. So building them close to where you live is really convenient. In terms of, like, design, if you will. So I'm not going to spread us out too far. But I don't want to be crowded either. Want to strike a nice middle ground. And luckily, it only takes a minute to collect a pretty sizable amount of stone to build a larger courtyard. I probably already have all the materials I need. Now, unless you guys vote for the alternative, I don't really intend for the craftspeople to have grand homes like I will have. Okay. I'll give him like a 2x2. It's honestly, like, my 2 cents, it is far more space than he actually needs. It's more for aesthetic purposes than anything else. Like, functionally speaking, if you really wanted to, you could throw all of your craftspeople into one giant, like, shack, each with their own bed, and that would be good enough. The game doesn't care. So you can do bare necessities if you want. But as you can see in the description that I have typed up, I don't intend to min-max like that. I want to build something that's at least somewhat aesthetically pleasing, because it just makes me happier. Brings me joy, if you will. So, the time beyond the basics that I spend building the nice things will ultimately be left up to you, but I do want to have at least some semblance of a village. So there we go. There is the foundations, and he's going to live adjacent to me. So we'll get him walls next with a window. You can see the sort of blue on the ground. That is the indicator of like what tile it is snapping to, which is really handy for when you're trying to design houses. And funny enough, unless I change my build plan, he's going to have a home sooner than I will. Because I haven't even... or a bed, I should say. Because I don't even have a bed for myself. Alright, so I need a little bit more plant fiber in order to build the roof tiles. But luckily I have plenty of plant fiber. And then, just so that I'm not the last one to have a bed, let's grab string and torn cloth and build a bed in my home too. So here's torn cloth, and I don't think I had any string, so I'll just make string. Alright, there's my bed, and my rest bonus has increased, corresponding to it. And then make another one for him. The other thing he'll require is some roofing. That should probably be enough. Because he wants to be sheltered. Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable request. Okay. It's not honestly asking too much to give a little hearth in there too. Plus, it's just nice that there will be multiple glows to the village rather than just my fireplace. So I will also give him some basic furniture. Very basic. Just because it's an extra, like, 30 seconds and makes it feel a bit like a home. Does he need a door? Technically no. I mean, nothing really needs a door as long as it's sheltered. And shelters don't require doors. But that's not to say I won't build one. So the nicer one needs wood scraps? Sure, I'll do it. And then we'll do a nightstand stool. And I got everything I need. Put the hearth in first. So I can see what the hell I'm doing. Door should open up this way, so it's not in the way. Good. Here's a little nightstand. I made a stool, right? Thought? Apparently not. I think I maybe ran out of wood for it. Hey, Featherless Biped. Thank you for the resub. Alright, that will do. Sorry, no candle for you, bud. Alright, with the summon staff, I can just look at the bed, click, and now it is occupied by Oswald Anders. And then I can put Oswald stand outside his home. Eventually, I might want, like, an attached... like right here, an attached workshop for him, because he is the blacksmith after all. But like, this will do for now. Thank you for tuning in to Enshrouded, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timer to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow flameborn.